So I think I begged President Jim to let me do this thumbnail sketch. I haven't done one since I've been involved in Rotary, and that's been since the early 90s. So I said, Jim, let me do one. I'd love to do one. So here it is. My name is Mark Berry. I've been a Rotarian since the early 90s. For me, it all started at a 5,000-watt station in Fresno, California. Wait a minute. No, that's Ted Baxter. No, I grew up in a military household. My father was a fighter pilot. I was born in France, Bistrov-Moselle, France, Two-Wing, Grotonquin. Growing up, we moved regularly. Moose Jaw, Edmonton, Winterpeg, and eventually Comox. That's where I went to high school. I went to Rob Road Junior in Comox and then to Vanier. I worked at Woodrow Farm out in Lazo on Knight Road, shoveling rotten potatoes. Then went to Glacier Greens Golf Course where I cut fairways, and eventually to Elk Falls Mill where I learned how to wake up just in time for the foreman to do his rounds. I then went to BCIT in Burnaby looking at a career in radio. As J.P. McConnell once said, $100 a month and all the records you could steal. Well, I wasn't far off. It was $600 a month, 6 days a week, and definitely the records because the stations I worked at played pretty crappy music. I did that for about 5 years until it was clear that I wasn't going to be able to raise a family on radio money. I got into the bingo business in 1985 when the Bingo Palace opened in town, Daryl Shiwi. It was incredible. I called some bingo, B5, number 5, I-22, two little ducks, I-22. I did that, had lots of fun. I did some paperwork back then. About 5 notations in a ledger, made a lot of money for local charities. We had over 120 charities at one point at the Bingo Palace. I think it was the largest number of charities under one roof anywhere in the province. And most of all, I talked to people. That was the best part of the job. That's what I did when I didn't call bingo. I was sitting with the bingo players, and it was really a lot of fun. I worked for that company for close to 30 years, 25 of the happiest years of my life. As we moved into the casino side of things changed. The job became a job. That was back in 2005. It was fun for a while, but mostly fun on my bingo side. The casino stuff was a lot of high pressure, lots of numbers, and I spent most of my time up in the corner office and definitely less time on the floor. I got out in 2015. Took a few years off. That's when I got involved in junior hockey, starting with the Campbell River Storm and jumping onto any broadcast I could. I drove around the island with a headset so I could worm my way into somebody's broadcast. As a matter of fact, this is it. It got me into a lot of arenas because quite often I'd go to an arena and I'd say, hey, if you need a hand, I'd jump onto the broadcast. And they would say, Mark, sorry, man, we don't have a headset for you. So I took care of that. And you know what? It was so much fun doing that in the VIJHL. I was VIJHL Broadcaster of the Year 3 times. That got me some other opportunities. As a matter of fact, I now work for the Kootenay International Junior Hockey League and BC Hockey Conference. I work on their graphics, video production, social media, and broadcast standards. My role is Director, Broadcast and Multimedia, which really just means, hey, Mark, I know you're busy, but could you do up this graphic for me? Anyway, 2 summers ago, my broadcast partner with the Glacier Kings, Daryl Skender, was transferred to the Caribbean, Curacao. His side gig was working Saturday mornings on the Raven, the country throwdown. He suggested me as a replacement, and management fell for it. The Saturday morning train wreck is the highlight of my week. I get to talk to my friends, play the music I love, with nobody telling me to turn the music down.
Oh, I got the Tucson too late.
New Country 100.7 The Raven. Thursday afternoon drive. Mark in for Chris. It is 4:47, and that means it's time for Bad Dad Jokes.
The Raven Crackerjack team of bad dad joke researchers were up late last night after the bars closed, looking for only the best bad dad jokes available. They came up with these instead. I just saw a burglar kick in his own door. He must have been working from home. We got music from Russell Dickerson and a country classic from Lynn Anderson next on The Raven.
My long-suffering wife of 33 years, Rhonda, well, I met her back in my early radio days at CFWB right here in Campbell River, 1490 CFWB Coast Radio. She's been incredible putting up with my hockey nonsense. I have two incredible daughters, Danita and Rachel, three grandsons, Stewie, Joey, who are in the Comox Valley, and young Wells out in the Ottawa Valley. I've been a Rotarian since the early 90s when I was one of the young kids in the club. Tuesday mornings, now Wednesdays, are the second high point of my week. I've met so many incredible people over the years. I've been involved in so many incredible projects, mostly those early years doing the duck race. That was so much fun at Campbell River Lodge. You know, I thought I would have retired by now, but I'm working harder than I've ever worked before, and I just don't have any complaints. I'm going to do this as long as I possibly can. Anyway, that's who I am. If you have any questions, feel free to ask away. But thank you very much for putting up with me for the last couple of minutes.